This week in our series on tomorrow's urban challenges, we're in Singapore, an example of a city searching for energy independence. This island state of 5.4 million people has long been a global hub for oil, but now it's also embracing natural gas. More than 90% of electricity here is now generated from gas. In the early 90s, nearly all of the power came from oil.
Using natural gas instead of fuel oil is more economically competitive and it's also cleaner. So the efficiency of the gas turbines is nearly as double as the efficiency of turbines running on fuel oil. And also the power companies in Singapore were offered repowering programs to be more economically competitive in the domestic market.
Amid strong promotion of natural gas, more and more customers, including shopping centres, hospitals and airports, are linking up to a fast-developing city gas network. With demand for natural gas expected to increase in Singapore for residential and business customers, authorities are trying to find the best way to make sure that it continues to flow in the future, as cheaply and efficiently as possible. About half of households are currently served by the gas network, with most of the supplies piped in from Malaysia and Indonesia. But having virtually no energy resources of its own, Singapore is mindful of the need to diversify its sources. Last year, the city opened its first ever facility for receiving liquefied natural gas, or LNG, from overseas. And that could lead to the creation of a new regional hub.
Obviously, this tendency will remain in the future, and several indicators speak for this evidence. For example, the LNG terminal in Singapore will be expanded in the next years, and also possibly another LNG terminal will be built in the east of Singapore in the upcoming decade. So from this we can conclude that natural gas will be a strong player in the domestic market in Singapore.
LNG is gas that's been cooled down to very low temperatures, causing it to shrink 600 times. This means it can be more easily moved around in ships and trucks, and experts say that's very attractive for countries wanting more energy security when it comes to their regular supplies.
Typically, when you have a pipe supply, you're really dependent on one or two, perhaps, countries to supply your gas. And if, for whatever reason, that supply is disrupted, perhaps for political reasons, perhaps for purely technical reasons, there's very little you can do to replace it.
Those nations with the right facilities could instead turn to the global LNG market and avoid the expense of storing backup supplies. Join us next time in Rio for another episode of Urban Visions.